Periods of rain on Friday with rumbles of thunder possible. Good Thursday night, East Tennessee. David Aldrich, Captain Accurate here from the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Well, we fell to 29 degrees this morning, had very few clouds early on, and it allowed us to cool. I was expecting 32. We fell to 32 in Tellico Plains. It was 36 this morning in Kingston, but it was 29 Oak Ridge and Knoxville. So we were about 3 degrees shy of where I thought we would be. But there were some cooler numbers in Middlesboro, 22. It was 21 in Jonesville. But what's fascinating, La Follette and Morristown, please take a look at these numbers. What was the low in La Follette? 27. What was the low in Morristown? 20. 1 degree difference, right, for the low. But the afternoon high in these towns were 17 degrees apart. Oh, come on, can't you just pick one? No, I can't. It was 43 in La Follette and 60 in Morristown. That's maddening for a forecaster. When you have a warm front coming to town, there was a cool pocket, as I feared there would be somewhere, right in here. I said, I kept going back between 50, 52, 50, 52. It was 51 in Knoxville. It was 50 in Kingston, but 60 here and 61 and 60 between Athens and Tellico. I mean, it's just amazing, the difference. But if you want a focal point, look at La Follette and Morristown, 17 degrees apart for high temperatures today. That wasn't like, could anyone have foreseen that? I'll take a look at the distance, though. If you ever have traveled between La Follette and Morristown, if you drive it, I believe it's about 72 miles. But if you were to go there as the crow flies, it's only 46 miles. So in a span of 46 miles, there was a 17-degree difference. It's amazing for high temperatures. And even though they started pretty close in the morning, in the upper 20s, they finished vastly different. Our high temperature today in Knoxville hit 51, normal high 49, record high 75 from 2002, and we've been as cold as -9 in 1966. Speaking of 66, that was the high today in Chattanooga, and 50 in Nashville. Boy, it's like a big difference there, too. It was 70 in Atlanta and 72 in Augusta, Georgia. So some big differences when a warm front tries to come to town. That warm front now lifting toward Kentucky. That's where most of the rain is now. Our eyes are going to be focused on Memphis because the rain that they are dealing with now, associated with the cold front, will be marching in here tomorrow and will linger through the rest of the afternoon. So don't expect much change. There's still rain in the forecast, but it's going to be hard to peg as it's just a morning event, just an afternoon event. Just plan on a soggy day from start to finish at times. So that's why I'm going to refer to it as periods of rain. The colder cloud tops in yellow now moving across parts of Mississippi and West Tennessee. When you put the clouds and radar together, it looks like this. This is the recipe for unsettled weather for the next 24 hours, I expect. Temperatures as of the 8 o'clock hour, 48 in Knoxville. And now Jacksboro, La Follette, and Morristown are only, 5 degrees apart. So they're coming back in at 61 in Athens. I mean, you can't win. It's up and down we go. You get these cold pockets, ridges and valleys, hilltops and hollers. You got it all. All the nooks and crannies that this topography can offer, we have it in the temperature profile. And look at this. 62 Chattanooga during the 8 o'clock hour, but only 48 in Knoxville. It's just amazing, but that's what happens. And you can have a big temperature bust sometimes if you're not expecting the unexpected. And that's kind of what I suggested early this morning if you watched the live stream. Let's get to the radar. That's the story for tomorrow. That is the big story. So playing Monday morning quarterback doesn't help now. We have a couple of showers in Knox County. What time is this? Just after 8:32 or so, and you can see a couple of showers towards Sparta, Cookeville, but it's very scattered. Again, the remnants of this warm front now lifting to the north. Got some showers. This is over the last 8 hours, and that's what we see from the ultimate Doppler radar. By the way, Marco's Pizza, marcos.com if you're looking for a late-night snack. If you like some delivery, may I suggest marcos.com. They're in Hardin Valley and Farragut. They're in Maryville, Fountain City, Halls Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. Giving back to East Tennessee's Children's Hospital. Love it. And they got a magnificent pizza idea. They call it the Pepperoni Magnifico with the old-style pepperoni. Check it out for less than $10. And you can consider, I would suggest, the deluxe, although they have a garden variety, all-meat variety, but the deluxe has everything. Pepperoni, Italian sausage, mushrooms, green peppers, onions, the original sauce, and the signature 3 cheeses. You got to love the deluxe if you haven't tried it. Check it out, marcos.com. Now, we have some brown areas in the Smokies. What on earth does that refer to, and should I be concerned? Well, keep in mind the wind concerns that we're going to be talking about are really going to be focused into and around the Smokies till about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. This already started more than an hour and a half ago. But the wind gusts could be now approaching 55 That was the update. The Weather Service initially this morning said 50, but now they're saying gusts to 55 with a south wind 20 to 30. So there is that potential there. So be mindful that we will have the potential for all of that fun activity coming our way. Now we go back to the radar, talked about the showers coming in here. We've looked at that. If you're concerned about the rain, there's not going to be much in the way of flooding, but we will get some beneficial rain because we are in a drought, which we'll talk about more in just a second. Lots of thunder here, what looks over 4,000 lightning strikes. In the lower 48 image here, most of it in the lower Mississippi Valley. Now, the drought monitor, which does come out weekly, is a product from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We call it NOAA, N-O-A-A. And one thing I noticed was that Knoxville went from light brown to orange. Well, what does that mean? It means we went from a moderate drought in light brown to a severe drought in orange. Now, Knoxville loves orange. I got to admit, you can't complain about that. We love our orange, Tennessee orange, but this is a bad kind of orange because this refers to severe drought. And you can clearly see much of Knox County, including Karnes, Farragut, and even back toward Hardin Valley, are in fact under a severe drought now. That was not the case last week. Seymour, Kodak, Dandridge, and Sevierville are under the moderate drought. That continues, and there are some abnormally dry areas in light yellow, the yellow areas. That includes Bean Station, includes Morristown, and Tazewell. But it would appear Hancock County has had more rain than others, so they're not included. Hancock County not included in the concern for drought at this particular time. Now, that could change next week. That's a possibility. In Greenville, it's a moderate drought. And back to the west, it's really bad in red. That's Kingston, Harriman, Rockwood, Fairfield, Glade. These are the areas. Wartburg and Crossville. These are the areas that have been under an extreme drought for weeks, really going back to last autumn. Extreme drought has expanded now into Riceville, Athens, Nyota, and Sweetwater. So I don't want to belabor the point. We need every drop of rain that comes. Some need it more than others. There's some really dry areas in South Jersey. Even Vegas, which is a desert, is considered an extreme drought. They're dry for a desert standard. And even parts of Texas, West Texas and South Texas have had some real dry concerns. Now, to put this in the number category, because we picked up 0.02, that's not much, that's what we had today at the airport. That puts us to 2.21 for the month. And, of course, tomorrow is the last day of the month. So we're going to be making up for lost time. For those of you that are in the landscaping, gardening, or maybe just a green thumb, you're going to want and hope that we get back to par, or hopefully get back to normal heading into the spring once we get into the growing season. Future rainfall shows what a dichotomy depicted here. Look at the rain that's now on the radar and compare and contrast where we are by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. By 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, Knoxville, if this verified, would have barely 1/100th of an inch. But they could have over nearly an inch and a half in La Follette. Again, there it goes, 46 miles from here to there. A huge difference, right? That's the forecasting challenge. So when you look at this, you can clearly see there's a big difference. Jamestown's over an inch. Crossville's approaching 2 inches. The yellow areas would represent 2 inches. Crossville does hit 2, while we may be barely hitting 0.83. Based on this model run by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. If we carry the clock through the rest of the business day, by 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, some of us have had 2 inches, like La Follette, maybe Crossville, but much, much less if you're in Newport or Sevierville, Pigeon Forge. Maybe you get a third of an inch. If you have a rain gauge, this would be a good time to reset it so you get us could share with us a good observation. I'm curious to know what you'll end up with. But by 11 o'clock, Friday night, the last of the showers should be wrapping around, and certainly by 3 a.m., it's all done. So by the end of this event, if you want to call it an event, beneficial rain, but again, the driest areas in red would cover places like Crossville and Wartburg. They need this rain. Let's hope that they get the heavier rains from this system. They certainly could put it to good use. Headlines, periods of rain on Friday. Rumbles of thunder possible. Hazy sun and clouds on Saturday. Mostly sunny on Groundhog Day. Yay! Some of you are like, yay. We'll be around 64 now on Sunday. But I think it's probably even warmer to the tune of 5 degrees on Monday, so we'll call Monday Spring Fever Day. Oh, I got a fever. I think I got a fever. It's coming. I think some of you are going to have such spring fever, you're like, I can't focus on work. I got to be outside. If it's near 70, some of you are going to say that. So you might want to consider taking Monday off. Say, tell the boss, can't come into work. the weather guy said we're going to have spring fever. I can't come into work. If that's the thing, do it. I mean, I encourage you to be responsible, but just know some warmer weather is coming for Team Spring. If you're on Team Spring, you'll love it. Maybe you could work from home for a little while and get all your work done. Who knows? Storm Prediction Center talking about severe weather in the southern part of the country. We're talking about the Panhandle of Florida tomorrow. That would be Mobile, Pensacola, Destin, and even Tallahassee may have an isolated severe storm tomorrow. That's the dark green, but you'll notice the thunder covers the entire part of East Tennessee and southeast Kentucky. Now, oftentimes I'll show you this map, but it's sometimes you need another visual, and I'm going to grant you that tonight. Tonight's a special night because we're going to look at the storm energy here. What I'm looking at here is the areas in yellow. It's weak, but it gives you a sense of where thunder, some convection may occur, and where it gets dark yellow, or at least brighter yellow, would be Crossville, Jamestown by midnight tonight. Carry the clock a little bit further into the wee hours of 1 a.m., and there's some brighter yellows north of Jellicoe. So there's going to be the potential for thunder. I just put rumbles, not severe, but rumbles of thunder where you see some of the brighter yellows. I'm looking at Sparta, Cookeville, Wartburg, Jamestown, fair game. What is that, 2 in the morning? 3 in the morning. Yeah, it gets a little brighter around Crossville and Lake Tansy. So you might get a rumble of thunder there. But all of this is going to be contingent on the front that's going to sweep in like a broom. I think we can animate that as well. But most of those colors disappear by midday tomorrow. And there comes the front, and things kind of get a little more settled. We're not going to be too worried about thunder tomorrow afternoon. It's mostly in the overnight period and in the first half of your Friday. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Now, the warm front, as I mentioned, is in Kentucky. It's on a Kentucky vacation right now. But winds are going to be strong in the Smokies through 10 a.m. tomorrow. By tomorrow morning, 7:15, if you're out the door, showers are only going to be increasing, especially west of I-75. It'll spread in like so. So by lunchtime, it's like, I thought it was supposed to be bad in the morning. It's going to be bad both times now. So like it's slowing down, slow to get in, slow to get out of here. That's the way the raindrops fall. But by 5 o'clock seems like there's some consensus that this will be moving out. Knoxville West. If you're Knoxville West, you should have drier conditions for the drive home. But it's still soggy in the Smokies at that time. By, say, Friday night, Saturday early wee hours, maybe a few wraparound showers, but not much more than that. And as I mentioned, Saturday, hazy, sunny clouds, and just very, very bright on Sunday. Sunday, I think, is mostly sunny at 64 degrees. You're going to love Monday because we'll be back in the upper 60s to near 70. So for tonight, 45 the low, more clouds, more rain with some rumbles of thunder. Tonight we're down to about 45 Morristown, 43 in La Follette, just a 2-degree difference there. That's okay. 46 in Newport. Look for a low in Tellico Plains at 51 degrees. 60 the high tomorrow. Confident that we'll get around 60 for most. Periods of rain, rumbles of thunder in the first half of the day. Wind speeds 5 to 15, gusty to around 30 here in the valley. Could easily hit 61, Maryville, 63, Sevierville. And even Tellico Plains in Madisonville could easily come closer to 63. But if you're in Crossville and if you're in Wartburg, mid to upper 50s, should be the name of the game tomorrow. 59 for La Follette for an afternoon high. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast with Groundhog Day in view. 57 on Saturday. Then all of a sudden we get into next week. And some of you will think, and you probably already do, hey, winter's over. Hey, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying spring is coming. You can celebrate, spike the football, whatever you need to do. But please know, by the time we get to, I don't know, the 8th, 9th, 10th, 14th, Valentine's Day, and President's Day, you might not think that. In fact, you might think just the opposite of that. And you'll say, I wish somebody had told me. I'm telling you, winter's not done. Not by a long stretch. And if you're a premium member, you have seen graphical evidence of why I say what I say, that winter's not done. Not by a long shot. So be prepared. Snow will be in the discussion. It will come back. But in the short term, we're running towards 70 by Wednesday, Thursday next week. Some of you will be very happy about that. I do know. By the way, you can keep track of all of this, the up and down, the ping pong, back and forth, the tug of war. Check out the Captain Accurate Weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic, the best traffic reporter in town, bar none. Just search the 2 words Captain Accurate at the App Store and Google Play. Well, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate. So weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.